In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the NEEWER Motorized Camera Slider. This is a versatile and easy to use tool that allows you to get smooth and dynamic camera movement inside of your videos. With this slider, you can achieve smooth and dynamic shots such as subject tracking, pan shooting, tracking forward and back, and 120-degree panorama. YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Will, back in the building with another video. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you enjoy content like this, maybe consider hitting subscribe. So you would use this to get dynamic shots in your videos. Sliders are also good for time lapses. This one right here is really dope because it comes at a pretty affordable price. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get to the unboxing and let's see what we all get. Let's go. All right, here you have it. This is the NEEWER slider right here. It comes in a really nice case, I guess. You see they got the branding right up top. There is a handle right here as well. All right. Okay. Right off the rip, what I can tell by the case is it's not the greatest, but it does get the job done. And I'm very grateful that they at least added a case with this for carrying and transport. There are some straps right here that's gonna keep your slider in place during transport. First thing you're gonna get is your camera slider, which is this guy right here. The next thing you're gonna get is your battery right here. This is the MP550. This is like a standard battery pack that most camera equipment use. You're gonna get your charger, and you have a micro USB cable to USB-A. You got your, what is this called? It's a NEEWER brand ball head. Comes with like a quick release system. You get a whole bunch of cables, and last but not least, you got your paperwork. This one right here is all the instructions on how to connect this to the app. Lastly, you have your manual, of course, which will give you all the information you need on operating the camera slider. I actually ended up purchasing separate the wireless remote control. Opening up this box, you're gonna have contact information for NEEWER. You have this huge manual. You have a charger for your remote control, and then lastly, you got your NEEWER remote. The remote feels kind of premium. This is like a matte black finish of that. This does fit in the little slot of this kind of bag situation. Just looking at the slider, it's made out of carbon fiber for the actual tracks that this slides on, and aluminum alloy. You have some tripod feet right here. You can kind of put the feet in a number of different ways and positions. At the bottom of this, there is like rubber on the feet, and I can also notice on the feet you can also like adjust this to come out more. On the front of the slider, there is a locking knob, and this is to prevent this from like sliding around. Here is the camera motor with the max capacity of 11 pounds mounted horizontally and 5 pounds when tilted at a 45-degree angle. The total weight of this is gonna be 9 pounds. You can see your 1/4 20 thread, like the standard tripod mount. On the bottom of this, the very center, you have a few different screw holes. You have a leveler right here, which will indicate when you are leveled. The only other thing to notice as well is the actual pan motion. There are knobs on either side with degrees. The center part twists, so you can kind of get that smooth turning motion, like a panorama type of thing. You have some more mounting right here. On the front right here, you do have some more thread holes as well. On the very ends, you have more mounting for tripod stands. So you have plenty of threads and options to like mount this up. Let's go ahead and get this all set up. Just gonna go ahead and put this on here. This is like your ball head system. Just goes on the 1/4 20 thread, and there's a quick release right here that will attach to the camera. I'm putting the quick release onto my camera. If I slide this back and forth, you can see the camera actually kind of going side to side. Well, let's go ahead and get this connected up. What you want to do is download the NEEWER app. There is a QR code that will take you directly there for Android and for iOS. Once you plug the battery in, it automatically goes into parent mode, and it's kind of calibrates itself. So it's going to move to the A side of the slider. So you would then just hit like add device. You would select on Bluetooth, and like you see, it just popped up it shows my slider right here. So I would just select that and hit OK. There is 3 different modes that you can choose from. So you have manual, you have live video, and then you have the time-lapse mode. At the top, you can see the battery life of the battery power on the slider itself. And you can see with movement, I have an option to do slow or constant. If I click them left or right, it's gonna slide. And at the top right here, this is the slider speed. So if I put that on 100 and I click, it's gonna go like so. It's on constant right now, and as you see, it stops abruptly. But if I change this to slow, and it's gonna start slow, speed up to the speed I want, and then when I hit stop, it kind of eases into the stop, so it's not abruptly. In the live video mode right here, I have the option to choose between point A and point B. If I choose automatic, this means that this is A and this is B. It uses the whole entire track. I'm gonna hit customize. Like now I could slide this to wherever I want my A position to be. So let's say if it was right here, and then now I'm gonna say I want it to slide between right here. Then I hit OK. And now if I hit save, I can set the speed that I want this to go. And it's telling me right here that it's gonna take 18 seconds to go from A to B. And I could do slow and constant like I just explained what that does. And then I have this loop option. So I'm gonna leave it on loop and I'm gonna hit start and watch what happens. So now it's gonna go to A. Now it's starting now. And now it's gonna slide until it gets to the B position. And then it's gonna go back to the A position. And also, I'm gonna be quiet so you can hear like the noise of the motor. I don't hear anything. Alright, cool, you get the point with that. And then time lapse is pretty self-explanatory. So in my scenario here, I would use, I think it's called a micro USB, whatever the port is on this Sony camera. So I would plug the 3.5mm jack into the camera, and then I would plug this part into my camera, and this pretty much supports all cameras. It's a lot of cables, so I'm pretty sure it will support your camera. With this time-lapse mode, it's meant to be in photo, and inside of this time-lapse function right here, I can do like a customize, or I could do automatic, which is the same thing from the whole entire slider. So I have right here the option of 30 frames, 60 frames, and 120. And this basically means it's gonna take 30 pictures within the 1 second duration of filming, 60 frames, etc. And as you can hear, it's taking a whole lot of photos. So very self-explanatory. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set this up and actually give you guys some footage, some really cool shots that you can do with this slider. When you're setting this up, I'm gonna be using light stands in this scenario, but you obviously wanna remove the battery so you don't stress your motor out. You can put this just on a tripod if you wanted to, but for side and side's sake, it's better to use 2 stands so that way you have the ultimate amount of balance. This is why I say you need 2 tripods. So if you notice, it leans with just the 1 tripod. And that's definitely not safe. It's gonna also mess up your really smooth footage. Slider is super dope. It has a lot of travel time. You just gotta get creative with it. But overall, the NEEWER Slider is a great tool to have in your toolkit to get smooth and dynamic camera movement. As you can see right now, I have it set up like a B cam, kind of doing like an orbit back and forth over my face. So this would be great for like interview style content. This slider is easy to use, very versatile, and built to last, making it a great choice for professionals and for enthusiasts. Pros and cons with the NEEWER Slider. So my first pro here is that this is a great tool to get really smooth and dynamic footage. You have options like time lapse, you have point A to point B, and you can even charge this with the USB port on the motor as you use. The motor is also very quiet. Like, it's going right now and I don't hear it at all. Also, another pro is that this does use an app, which makes it easy to navigate and command it to do different things. My first con with this slider is you have to either choose to use the remote or the app. You can't use them in conjunction. So basically, if you use the app, you have to disconnect the remote before it lets you connect to the app, and vice versa. My next con is it can be a pain to travel with. Since the slider is so huge, you also need to carry 2 light stands or 2 tripods in order to get like the best dynamic footage. Now, you are able to like set this up on something, but I honestly think you're better off just carrying like a tripod or like light stands. I really love the fact that you can do things like track and pan. You can pan up, pan down. There's so many different possibilities of shots that you can get with this slider that you could probably get handheld or with a gimbal, but it honestly would be so much harder. It's so much easy to just kind of set this up and set points and set where the object tracking is gonna be. I will leave links down in the description if you guys are interested in picking this up. It's actually at a very affordable price at like $329. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope that you learned something. If you did, don't forget to leave your boy a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already. Don't forget to hit the bell so that way you get notified every time I drop new videos. I'm gonna holler at y'all next week in my next video. Deuces.